Ward up, everybody! Welcome to Late Night Live number 159, the first live stream in months. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, me. Fingers crossed, everything is set up right and working. Oi, oi, oi. 9 p.m. really sneaks up on you. You be quiet, Diego. The audio is not crackling. I spent a good number of hours yesterday trying to solve that issue, and I still don't know what the heck I did that solved it, but that specific issue is solved, but that's an issue for a future stream. It has literally been ages. It's been a very, very long time. When was the last stream? Do you guys remember? Has it been 2 full months? 2 months? That's crazy. We're gonna hope that my camera and everything is set up nicely. It's nice to see everybody. I do believe there was 2 links today. I think I messed up the first link by accident. Nice to see you, Audrey Swinning. What up, Lene? Hello, Olivia. We got Diego in here. MGWard. I don't know how I'm supposed to say your name. Mwangi. MGWard. Wangi. MW. I don't know. You can let me know if you have a preference. What's going on, Ski? Long time no see. Thank you very much. 2013, yeah. Thank you very much, everybody, for the belated birthday wishes. I appreciate it. All right. Now, do I still remember how to write is the big question. Let's see how this nib is. Visible enough? Just dance on the paper. That's what I intend to do. I had a very nice birthday. Normally for my birthday, I'm just getting off of tour. Normally, this tour that happens every year finishes a week or 2 earlier than it did this year. So normally I'm getting off of this crazy long tour and I'm exhausted. So I just kind of chill out and do nothing. Sometimes I'll meet with some friends and we'd have dinner or have a round of disc golf or something. But this was my first time in a long time having a birthday where I was at work. I was doing stuff. I was in backstage of a theater. Whole lot of stuff going on. I had a good friend of mine's mom who lives close by to the theater and had dancers in the competition I was hosting. Brought balloons and a party hat, and yeah, lots of birthday love for me on that day. It was wonderful. A great entrance to 42. 42. It's bonkers. But oh wait, there's an ad already? Why is YouTube? No, I'm gonna skip this ad. We just started. There we go. I want to show you guys this. I got this as a birthday present. If the camera can see it. If you guys are familiar with The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I turned 42, and 42 is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Which is kind of fun. So somebody got me a pin. Because now that I'm 42, I guess that means I am the answer to life, the universe, and everything. Greetings, Walker. Oh, you're in China right now. Welcome, welcome. How long are you over there for, Walker? Oof. have to... Wait. I go this way? No, this way. Gotta get my desk feeling good again. Ugh. 42. Till the conference. Did I misread? I thought you weren't coming to conference this year. Am I mistaken there? I thought I read somewhere that you weren't coming. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Fun. Okay. And as per usual, I don't really have a game plan for today. I just felt like doing a casual chill stream. I know while I was out of town on the Create Room, we were discussing doing some niche or specialized streams, or doing like an Engrosser script stream, or an what was one of the other ones that somebody requested? An Old English stream, some broad pen, things like that. And I have a plan of working those in, also business penmanship moving forward, but today's been a very busy day, and I just felt like relaxing and chilling out, and needed some ornamental penmanship / just some chill penmanship in my life. Got you. Understood. The answer to... Hey, I love being the answer to Tuesday night shenanigans. My hand feels on edge. Today, we need to relax. Too much running around before the stream. You know what? Something I've never done on stream before that I'm gonna do today. What's going on, Annie? I'm gonna have a beverage. A tasty beverage. Will this relax my muscles? Not relax my muscles? I don't know. We're gonna find out. Oh, cheers, everybody. Should have said that first. You're unpacking, Annie. That's exciting, though, isn't it? Because unpacking means you get to discover and find homes for new things. A scandal indeed, Lene. I had one in my fridge. Well, I guess I didn't really warm up today. That's true. Let's warm up. Maybe that's why I feel on edge. I'm all out of sorts. I forgot how to live stream. Forgot how to live stream. Forgot how to writing session. I forgot everything. I remember before we took a break, my big focus of mine was going back to more whole arm training. For those of you who've known me for a while, know that when I got into ornamental penmanship, after writing relatively slow for a long time, I dove right into everything I wrote whole arm, or every capital, not lowercase letters. But I wrote all of my capitals whole arm with my forearm off the desk. And then I transitioned into forearm movement. And then recently, at the time that I stopped streaming, I was feeling restricted in my forearm, where I didn't have the freedom to go where I wanted. So I was going back to forearm off the table training, and wasn't very long, but not very much of that, before I had to go on the road. But now I'm back, and I'm going to dive back into that again, which means things can get a little messy looking at the beginning, but I need to go through that phase so that I can just better control myself. Move to a new city and a new job. That's exciting. It's a whole new start for Annie. Tour was good. Very, very busy. How's it going, Marilyn? Yeah, tour was really good. It was really, really busy. For those of you who don't know, I am the events manager and MC for a series of dance competitions that happen throughout Western Canada. So for the past 2 months-ish or so, the season goes from mid-March until the end of May, with a couple weeks off in the middle. But for the past, 2 months or so, I've been on the road, in the theater by 8:30 or so, or earlier in the morning every day, and then I'm backstage running the event until usually 10:30 or so. So it's about 14 hours probably. Backstage running the jam. And then that's 5 days a week. Then I have 1 day to sleep in, and the next day is either traveling to the next city or setting up the theater for the next week event. The majority of the events are 5 days long. There was a couple events that were only 3 days, but I would have to start an event in one city, get them set up, because I programmed all the video judging and all the technology aspect of it. Is all sort of my creation. So I get all that set up and working, and then I would run the first day and a half, and then I would have to hit the road and drive to the next event, pick up the judges, set up the next theater, and then run that event, and then finish off the weekend at the second city. Yeah, it was a very busy couple months. I'm excited to be home and relax for a little bit. What's going on, Peter? Long time no see. It's a long time no see for everybody today. How are the plants? The majority of the plants are very good. Everybody's in good health. A couple of the plants are had a rough go through the winter, but honestly, I'm about done with my Chinese money plants. I think I might get rid of them. When they're healthy, they're beautiful and I love them, but I've never had one stay healthy for any long duration. It seems like I'm always nursing them back and then dealing with damage from a number of different things. So they're proving too much work than they're worth, I think. So I might get rid of Benjamin and Cash are my two Chinese money plants, maybe. Frank no longer lives right beside me. I know normally he's right here joining me on stream, my giant Monstero plant. I moved him to the far corner of my room, and now I don't know if this frond will reach into camera. There's Shaggy, my macho fern, is now living over here, who's in a bit of rehab, but not from this trip away. He went through some rough times a few months ago. Yeah, costing me. Well, yeah, the Chinese money plant, they're just frustrating because I don't know how to keep them super healthy looking. I feel like I can speak most of my other plants' language and I know what they want or don't want, but the Chinese money plants just don't want to communicate with me. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I don't know that I have the energy to figure it out. Oh, Lene, you gotta name your plants. That's important. They gotta have identities. I did a massive pruning when I got home of all of my night blooming jasmine. I have currently 12 potted night blooming jasmine cuttings. Only 2 or 3 of them bloomed in the last cycle, but they have been moved out onto the balcony, and I did a hardcore prune basically down to the trunk of all of them to get some new bushier growth for the summer, which I'm excited about. So long as I didn't over prune them, fingers crossed. Night blooming jasmine is the best smell ever. I was sad they bloomed about a week or 2 after I left on my last long trip. So I got home and I just saw all the discarded petals that had fallen on my desk, and I missed the intoxicating, wonderful evening scent. I'm not sure why only some of them bloom and not the others, because they're all equally healthy, so I have no idea. I haven't unlocked that little secret yet. Oh, disappearing hairlines there. So what I did this time, I marked the pots of the ones that I know bloomed, and then we'll see if they're the ones that bloom at the next cycle and the other ones don't. I'll get rid of the other ones because there must be something to do with what time the other cuttings were taken, or honestly, who knows. What's going on, David? He is alive indeed. Getting back into this camera world. I've messaged a few people in Vancouver who sell night blooming jasmine just to get like tips, because I want them to be healthier and nicer. They've been doing okay, but they are another plant that somewhat eludes me. But unlike the Chinese money plant, they seem more worth it in the end because of the smell, whereas the Chinese money plant don't really do anything for me. I heard as well, Ojaswini, that they were easy. I have not found them easy. Oh, fun news to report. So many of you know I, months ago, took my copy of New Spencerian Compendium to a scanner to get it rescanned because a year or so ago, or however long it was, I got one scanned and they did a really bad job. Well, I took it to another scanner and they've had it for a couple months, and I actually just got an email today. They told me that they just finished recalibrating a bunch of stuff and updating their book scanner. So we knew there was going to be a delay, but they say it should be done in the next couple weeks maybe, which is exciting. This is what I want. One of my pothos, you can see it grows all the way from one corner of the apartment to the other. You can't see that part. Then down the wall, and then it's grown halfway back now. Very, very healthy. Sorry, I'll stop talking about plants now. But my plants have stayed healthy while I was away, which makes me happy. I don't know that they can be held responsible for any cash flow coming in. I feel like that's most of the updates. Everything else is just in the process of... I have a lot of cuttings from a lot of my ivies and whatnot, because I'm about to purchase apartment length of rain gutters. I gotta go to the Home Depot or Rona and pick up long black rain gutters that I'm gonna turn into a super long hanging planter that'll hang over my balcony, or over the railing on my balcony. And then I have a pot worth of ivy cuttings that will go in that, and then slowly that will fill up, ideally, and make a little blind on my railing. That's a goal anyways. I feel like I'm getting very inconsistent hairlines. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not good. I don't know why. Is this me, the paper, or the nib? I feel like it's gotta be me. But let's take a look anyway, just to be sure. You read correct, Peter. I was approved this year for my Old English, my Excellence in Old English certificate. Last year I was supposed to do Old English and Illumination, and I got way too busy to get the Illumination one done, which I'm bummed about, because now I'm a year behind in that. If I would have passed, who knows? That's definitely one that I could fail at. Same with this Old English one. There was a distinct possibility that I would have failed. What did I use for study? Primarily, honestly, the Zenarian manual. I used a lot of samples of Old English from all over the place, but then the exemplars or the alphabet that I referenced for my writing was the copies in the Zenarian manual. I don't have my actual certificate because I believe Iampith still has it and they unveil them at conference. I think that's a new thing they're doing. But I do have somewhere here. If I can reach it or making a mess. I have a copy with a lot of really awesome notes. I like when the judges are picky. I like when the judges are picky and I still pass. That makes me happy. But there's my it's a copy of my certificate in Old English. Yep. I'm excited to get the real thing back eventually at conference, I guess. And then to dive into illumination, and if I can do it this year, I really want to do. I have a lot of respect for Eric, who did his who did his business penmanship with movement. So I haven't applied for Old English yet, so I want to do Old English using movement and see how close I can get, just as a personal challenge and to push me to work on my business penmanship and whatnot a bit more at speed. Eventually, one day, I want to apply for Spencerian at speed, but I gotta figure out what they're doing with the Spencerian ornamental penmanship certificate thing. My brain has been living very much in a Spencerian world lately as I prep and get ready for my ooh, that is a nice exit oval right there. Sorry, as I get ready for my intensive class at conference. Very excited for that. What's a good A word that I should write after this A? Nice, Peter. I didn't know that was an interest of yours. That's cool. That's an exciting world. It was fun watching when Kahlo sort of went over the deep end, and I say that in the best way possible, when she went over the deep end of illumination and certificates and whatnot. Just old illumination and manuscripts. It's so cool. For my certificate, I used a broad pen nib. When I'm practicing and just playing around, which admittedly I don't do a ton of, but when I am just playing around in the broad pen world, I like to use a pilot parallel because it's easy. I have a couple pilot parallels that I've sharpened a little bit. I've sharpened a few. Some of them work well, some of them I've gone too far, and it's just to get a slightly better thin line, just a little bit more contrast. But I quite enjoy using the parallel just because it's easy. It's very much no nonsense tool versus a dip pen. But I definitely use both. Applique. We're gonna use the weird Spencerian cue, because why not? Not as good of a hairline as I would like to have on that. What's going on, Alexandru? Nice to see you. Ooh, you're gonna be in Norfolk. Fun, fun. I can't believe that's only a month away. I have 2 trips to the States happening. One of them is conference, and the other one I'm going to put in some time with the Henning collection, getting it ready for members to view at conference, because right now it's just in boxes, and that's not a good way to view it. So I'm heading down to pull it out of storage and put it into binders so that you guys can, and anybody at conference can check it out. Oh! Luis, I didn't even think about Albuquerque. Well played. Albuquerque. I'll do another one. Yeah, it's even a better A. Granted, I'm using ornamental penmanship today and not Spencerian script. I don't even know how to spell Albuquerque. Ugh. Querque, right. It's so crazy to me that the Spencerians all thought that this looked good. It doesn't. It's so strange. This is the weirdest transition. That point right there. Feels like it breaks all the rules, but it doesn't. I wish it broke all the rules so that I could tell people not to use it, but it doesn't. They definitely use it. Used it. How dare me for what? Writing it? Or for criticizing the original? The way they originally did it? Nothing is sacred. I don't mind. I don't think it would be anybody's linkage of choice. What if we connected, what are some other letters that we go into with an overturn? I'm trying to think. What are other, it's not used anywhere else other than the Q and the U. But like, that'd be the equivalent of if we wrote minimum. Well, yeah, ads come in every 30 minutes. And yeah, we're at, the first one was weird. I think the first one came in, I don't know why it came in like 9 minutes into stream. It's supposed to be every 30 minutes. But if we wrote minimum, and if we went into the I like they go into the U, we'll go into the U as well, like they do the U, because why not? It just looks so wrong. It looks so weird. The U needs an underturn. Hard, yeah. It's bizarre. And then it's also interesting that they didn't, but I guess there's probably a good reason. Like, they could have rounded it and it wouldn't look as bad. Not that it looks bad, it just looks weird. What's the minim problem? I don't know the minim problem. Whoops. Yep. That's not really an issue in cursive or penmanship, luckily. Old English, it can be pretty difficult because it just looks like a whole bunch of straight lines. Looks like a picket fence. Weird. From there to there. Why is that not smooth? Should we write something specific tonight? Do we have any... Should we create a game plan? I'm just kind of writing things that we've chatted about. Yeah, I do believe every script has its... That was one of the coolest things about learning... Like, I learned cursive and whatnot in school, but in school I never learned, like, the reason that the I has a dot. The reason, all, like, the different things to distinguish from... For legibility. It was so neat when I learned a lot of those things. That I guess when I was young and learning cursive, I don't know that I would have found them fascinating. But I find them fascinating now. Now that I've matured? I don't know about that. Just because my numbers went up don't really mean anything. I have a question that I'm going to post in the create room, but I'm curious. When people do, say, a capital S, I'm curious if people focus on this stroke, if this loop Is that the same for people as when they do an ascender loop? The same type of energy? Or do people transition at this top part and focus on the compound curve downstroke of the stem? Like, is it one and then the downstroke? Or is it when you get here, you transition into a loop, and then after the loop, you tag on the ending? Just curious. It amounts to the same thing, but I'm curious where people's sort of mindset is when they do that stroke. That's a topic for OP chat, I believe. Did you not understand the question, Diego? Ask you like you're 5. Okay. So the question is basically, when you do a capital S, like if I do one slowly, as you're doing a capital S, when you get to this point, do you utilize the same motion as a ascender loop, like a L or an H or a B, to get this loop? Or do you go all the way up and then transition at this point so that your focus is on the downstroke, sort of this compound curve stroke? So it's basically, is it at this point that you have this flow, or at this point that you have this flow? I feel like that's one of two. There's probably more ways, but I'm curious. I would wager that a lot of people choose sort of one of those two ways. So yeah, you transition at the top and then come down like you're doing a compound stem stroke. That's what I do as well. But I find that I don't have the nicest top portion of my downstroke compound curve, and I'm trying to figure out why, or if there's a way that I could iron that out. But then doing it this way, because I always lift after my ascender stroke, I'm curious if it would feel weird continuing that. Or I guess this, if I were to train that to be one smooth move, then that would potentially be the best plan. I would never even consider the first. Interesting. So Vincent's here as well. The downstroke. So you transition up here. I just find my upper loops on the S are never as nice as I want them to be. Like, even if I start at the baseline and just do a simple S, that upper loop always suffers a little bit. Hello, Jim Fozzie. I haven't talked to Fozzie in ages. Oh, yes, I apologize to everybody who sent me birthday wishes on Instagram or Facebook that I have not responded to. That is on my to-do. It's ridiculous that that's on my to-do list. I sort of made the choice on my birthday because it was such an incredibly busy day that I wasn't going to respond to anybody that day, because like a ton came on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere, and WhatsApp and all the things. And I sort of didn't ignore. I read them all and notifications as they came in, and then have been meaning to respond to everybody, and I haven't yet. and I'd apologize for that. I do intend to respond to everybody really quickly. Hopefully tomorrow, after my Mont Blanc class. Long time no see. Good to see you as well. No worries, Diego. It was May 27th. It was a bit ago. I'm quite very behind in my responses to everybody. Uh-oh. Oh, just Winnie's glitching. Did she just say the send the same message back to back? Because an interesting point, going back to the S a little bit, when I do a capital G, because the G, it still has that upper loop, but because it doesn't transition into a compound curve, when I do a G, the flow doesn't stop until here. So there's no transition that happens at this top portion. So this, from here to here, is always way smoother on my capital G than on my capital S, which is frustrating because it should be nice and smooth on both. But I find the reason the G is so smooth, well, it might not be the reason, but the fluidity doesn't stop until this point here. That's better. I don't know, Swinny. Couldn't tell you. So it makes me feel like if the fluidity, like on the G, I feel like it's sort of momentum is starting like right here, going up and down into that. And I would like the same up and compound curve, but my compound curve gets messy. What's the origin of the half R? Is that an R? Yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the half... I'm being stupid now, I'm pretty sure. Is one of those a half R? I've always used just R and ending R. Do you mean this one though? The first one. What the origin of it is? Oh. I feel like this is something I read and learned once upon a time, but can't remember. But I do feel like my brain is screaming at me that this is something, that the reason it has this shape, that there's a reason for that shape. And I can't for the life of me remember what it is anymore. What's going on, Jose? They just needed to come up with something. It's fascinating. Recently I was going through a bunch of Spencer's samples, Flat Roger Spencer samples, and the number of times that he omits letters and fuses letters and whatnot. I have a feeling it was the way they wrote at the time. I think they just omitted certain letters for rapidity, perhaps? I'm not really sure. But there's a lot of what we would look at as like spelling mistakes or illegible cursive, which is interesting because it's one of the founder, basically. It's neat. Ooh, what's to eat, Lene? I feel like it was just one of those, I think you see it in like a lot of old recipe cards. I know my grandmother's handwritten recipe cards when my sister got a bunch of those, and we were going through a bunch of them because some she couldn't read, and trying to figure out some of the abbreviations and shortened words, because some of them are shortened and abbreviated in ways that make very little sense to myself or people in this day and age. But I think it was just very common. Rice and red lentils with dates, saffron, and spices. Yummy. That also sounds yummy, Marilyn. See, there's always from there to there. It's never as nice as I want it to be. It's never like an ascender stroke. But if I were to change my focus and do something like that, and did it like just like an ascender, then the downstroke is always nice. It's that darn transition into compound curve that what's stress. Oh, I definitely know it doesn't come from Spencerian Walker. I know it's much older than that. Do you know the answer, Walker? Or are you just quizzing us, or are you actually looking for the answer? Let's see, we can make a guess. We think about the R, we should be able to make an educated guess why a letter would be shaped that way. Why would you shape a letter that way? This probably is not the reason, but if you think of like the capital R, we're not far. I mean, this is in Spencerian though, but ornamental penmanship, the capital R has this same type of stroke. If I remove this top oval, I basically have the half R in there, ish. But that's more likely where it came from, in where the people who created ornamental penmanship in Spencerian and whatnot got it from, or when they created cursive writing. I don't know. A fun research assignment. Hmm. His S's. How does he make his S's look so unique? His upper loop is so long, and then his compound curve is more abrupt, is it not? Something more ish like that? Just with a quicker compound curve on the bottom? I just want it to be smooth. I've never studied it before. I should. Not too bad. I think that's why I'm always so drawn to variations of the S and the L that use, even the G sometimes, but mainly the S and the L that use a variation like so. Because having this stopping point, going from here, I have no problem with fluidity. It's doing an upper loop and into a compound curve that my brain's just, too many things, can't make it fluid, abort. Or something like that. I'm trying to think if I've ever even taken a class at conference. I don't know that I ever have. A very long time ago, at any rate. I don't disagree. So, Peter, in your interest in manuscripts and whatnot, have you started replicating or creating anything, or are you primarily just studying these days? Desk feels... My chair feels low. I don't know that it is. Or it went down while I was away. Which, that doesn't make any sense. What's going on, Sudhi? Welcome, welcome. Long time no see. Hello, you eight. Is Diego still in the chat? I can't remember, Diego, if you're still here. Are you coming to... Oh, thanks, Walker. Are you coming to convention or not? This year? No! What? Why not? You've been doing so much penmanship and stuff lately. Oh, that's awesome, Peter. Well, fingers crossed he gets you in. Apparently, I know the New York Public Library... Oh, we're on an ad right now. Apparently, the New York Public Library has a pretty cool collection. I've never seen it, but I think Kahlo went to see it a couple years ago, or to see some of what they had. I'm excited to go back to the East Coast next January. I have some more places to get to. Some more collections to explore on my yearly East Coast pilgrimage to find all the penmanship stuff in all of the establishments. Which reminds me, Walker, now that I'm home, I will try to get those English round hand images I have cleaned up and shared for you from whatever school that was. I don't even remember where I was when I saw those. Did I tell you that that was completely the wrong book? I went there to check out a specific book, and then when I got there, I had looked up other things they had, and I had said the wrong book. So they brought me that book, which was really cool, and it was awesome to look at, but it wasn't the actual reason I went to that to that campus that day. I went there to check out something else and thought I didn't look into it deep enough. Yeah, I'll get those to you. Now that I should have a little bit of time. Now my tea should be the perfect temperature. A little. Took me a little too long to finish my beer. So the tea is not as hot as it could be, but that's okay. I'm not one to complain about cold tea. Just Earl Grey tea today with just black at the moment. I ran out of honey and I didn't feel like putting sugar in it. Decaf though. As it's a writing night, I have my two jars, the decaf Earl Grey and the calf Earl Grey. That transition. Earl Grey is lovely. It's funny though, I can be hit and miss with some Earl Greys. Some places Earl Greys aren't that yummy to me. They get too floral sometimes. Do you guys stop? I know some books teach to stop there on the capital L. Do you guys stop there? Ooh, vanilla Earl Grey would be nice. I don't know that I've ever had that. Yeah, like I know some books recommend and then to come back in here and do something like that. Which honestly makes this lower part, I don't like that I can see my lift. I don't hide my crimes nearly enough. But it feels nice. Is it possible for paper to be too thin for shading? Yeah, most definitely. Without knowing the paper you're using, I can't say that your paper specifically is, Jose, but, like, for example, I've used, Tomoe River paper back in the day. I think a class that I taught once, the studio I was teaching at, all the handouts and everything were printed on, Tomoe River. Were they printed on Tomoe River? Or no, the students just were given Tomoe River to use over top of their guide sheets. And I love Tomoe River for writing with a fountain pen, but I was not a fan of it at all. But that was primarily because it would move when I would write. It was just, it didn't have enough solidity, and it would, solidity, is that the right word? Yeah, anyways, it would like shift when I put weight on it because it was too thin. But if your nib is catching, the bottom shades in capitals. If you could elaborate on catching a little bit, on what you specifically mean by that. Because your paper could be too thin. That's awesome, Lene. Cup of Joe, you Vox. Are you writing? Can you drink coffee and write at the same time? I can't do that. Although I did drink coffee the other day for the first time in a very, very long time. I had a 10-hour drive to do, and I only had a few hours of sleep because I was hanging out with friends the night before. So partway through my drive, when I gassed up, I had to get some dark roast to keep me going. Very rare, though. Nope. Nope. Any chess followers in the chat? Anybody following the Classic Chess World Championships that's going on right now? I don't play chess, but for some reason I follow the Classic or all chess championships. I find them fascinating. See, this kink every time. Who's your favorite, Diego? People are giving him quite a hard time for smashing the table. But there's clips of Gukesh smashing tables as well. They all do it. Not quite as aggressive as he did that one time. Magnus played Hikaru today, didn't he? I don't know the outcome of that match. That's better. Well, not the best shape in my exit oval, but... It's so crazy to me seeing all like Instagram comments and social media comments about like them being cocky or them being like getting super aggressive or weird internalized emotions. I'm like, yeah, I don't think people understand how their brains work. It's out of control. Watching those guys, it's crazy. It's neat watching like Hikaru and Magnus play a game just verbally. They'll just talk a game and they'll just say, no board, no anything. They can just talk. And it's so fast. It's the computations that they can do up here is I think that's why I watch it. I find it utterly mind-blowing. I can confidently say I don't think I've won a chess game in my entire life. I enjoy stress. No, I enjoy chess, but I've never actually strategically been able to, or I even like really finished many games. I do enjoy chess puzzles. Recently, or before I was on tour, I was doing mate in 2 puzzles where they just give you a random board and there's a checkmate in 2 moves, and then you just see how quick you can do those 2 moves to get to checkmate, which is kind of fun. And then when I get better at those, I'll do mate in 3, mate in 4, blah blah blah, and other puzzles like that. Yeah, those guys, the way they think and the way they can computate chess is unreal, and it makes me feel like an utter idiot. You know what else makes me feel like an idiot? It's like those, I know it's just algorithms and whatnot, but the crazy fast Rubik's Cube solvers, like I can solve a Rubik's Cube, but not like that. And then I'll show you something that I got that is utterly wrecking my brain when I take a few moments from work here or there to pick it up and mess with it. I got this as a birthday present, and when I first took it out of the box, I thought, oh yeah, this will be no problem. It's called a gear cube, and you look at it and you think, cool, no problem. Like, this side moves this just like a Rubik's Cube. But when you move this other face, these, watch, they rotate. So when it gets to its next spot, like the next time that they're flush with corners, they're no longer, like they're not matching anymore. It's crazy. And then you see, like, I went all the way around the cube, and these lined up before I went all the way around. So if I go all the way back around, they should line up again. Yeah. So because I'm just solving the, like, black layer, and I got almost the whole layer except this corner. And if it was like a regular Rubik's Cube, sorry, I'm distracted now. I just need this corner to go up there, which would be no problem. Normally, you would just push this out of the way, bring this down, and bring it back. But when you bring this down, all of this gets broken. I'm determined to figure it out, but I'm also determined to not Google it. So it might take me years, but I'm determined to slowly chip away at understanding. Once I understand the rotation, then I'll understand how to prep certain moves, because I'm assuming I should be able to use regular Rubik's Cube ideas, but I just have to prep them different. It's the setup for those ideas that I can't wrap my head around as of right now. Yeah, that was there's Jen. She is the one who purchased that gift for me. Hello, Jen. I was wondering if you'd be in here chatting or not, or in here lurking. But yeah, I will not Google, but I'm very curious. It's gonna take me some time. Halfway through the shade on the G and S and L, it would dig in. And it doesn't on like if you just do a standard capital stem. Like if you're just doing a stem that ends on the baseline, it doesn't dig in. Only when you have like that type of a shade that goes around. Curious. If you're willing, I'd love to see a video of it doing this. If you're able or willing to shoot like a phone video and upload it to the Creatrium. I feel you on that, Peter. But when somebody gets you a gift, you have to solve it. I have to slowly chip away at it. Most puzzles I can figure out pretty quickly, but this one's gonna take me some time. I'm excited. Up on my shelf, way up there, I have two. They're called escape rooms in a box. I have three, but one of them I solved already. I got it for Christmas a couple years ago, but it's basically a puzzle box, and it has a bunch of different steps and a whole bunch of different things to go through. And I have two other ones. One that's what is it? Davy Jones locker themed, and one that's Sherlock Holmes themed that I haven't had time or the mindset to sit down and actually solve. Because those ones, once you solve them, then it's done. They're not exciting anymore. Because then you know how to do it. Puzzles are so much fun. My sister every year tries to get me harder and harder puzzles to solve, and then is always super disappointed when I solve them. This was... Now I'm just in show and tell mode. This was this Christmas's puzzle. One of these. I don't know if I've showed this on stream before, but there's a nut and a bolt in a bottle, and you got to get the stick out of the bottle. It was a fun one. I solved it and then Googled to see if I solved it right or if I found a weird workaround. Putting it back was the difficult part. Putting it back was way harder than getting it off. When I used to do the Christmas tours, foiling tours through Germany with Liebeskind, there was always these puzzle stations or puzzle stores, I guess, in the Christmas markets. And every year I would get these really cool, difficult wooden puzzles to bring back for my family. But I haven't been there during the Christmas markets in some years, so I haven't been able to partake in that tradition anymore. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Yeah, physical puzzles. See, and I would enjoy watching people solve things like that on YouTube, but I refuse to watch them on YouTube because then if I see how somebody solves it, then if I ever try that puzzle, I'll know how it's solved. It feels like cheating. Like the store that I used to buy the puzzles at in Germany, I would ask them which were the hardest ones, and I would pick a few puzzles every year. And then behind the counter, I would have them open them, mess them all up, like take all the pieces apart, and then just give me the pieces in a bag. So that when I got home, or I never got to see the solved finished product. What I got from the store was a messed up puzzle that then I had to figure out from scratch. Just for fun. Glutton for punishment. Oh, it feels good to signature write. It's been a while. Flowy, flowy, flowy. That's very valid, Renee. That's quite pricey. Smoothing it out. The hand is starting to remember what this whole penmanship thing is all about. All right, Peter, thanks for hanging out. Sweet dreams. What have some of my favorites been? Favorite what? Specifically. Oh, puzzles. Honestly, the escape room in a box, those are really, really fun. Because they're not just one thing, you sort of solve a series of things. So those are fun. Those are probably my favorite puzzles to do, I think. I like puzzles that take a long time, but you know you're making steps along the way, like you're unlocking doors, as if you're treasure hunting and you're getting farther and farther into the doom or whatever, if you're Indiana Jones. Until you finally make it all the way. I did not. I really, really like real escape rooms as well. I only do them with, pretty much with my nieces. When I go home, they enjoy doing them, and we've done quite a few now every time I go back to visit my family. Yeah, I like escape rooms. Any puzzle things like that that are active and use a bunch of sort of different techniques to solve, I enjoy. My hairline keeps dying. There's ink though. I think that's just a nib issue. It's a good one. Too long down there. Whoops. You should make a gag product that's Rogaine for penmen. Diego. Ugh. Ruined it. Too much freak out happening at the end of my stem. Just relax. Better. Anybody in here read Brandon Sanderson's Mistborn before? I am a new follower of Sanderson. Send you my practice? I could. I have a whole lot of it. There are stacks and stacks and stacks of paper practice around my apartment. Too small. I just finished the first Mistborn book on my drive back to Vancouver. It was about a 19-hour audiobook that I finished. The drive, we had a 10-hour drive back, and then in the office, and yeah, slowly chipping away at it. Just finished it. Was gonna start the next book today, but had too much brain stuff going on that I needed to focus. Who's the narrator? Oh, so the specific version that I'm listening to is by a company called Graphic Audio. That there's a narrator and then a bunch of different actors, and they do sound effects and everything. So when somebody's walking, you hear footsteps. So it basically plays like a movie in your mind. That's sort of their advertisement. Graphic Audio is the company that released the version that I'm listening to. Oh, ad time. See if we can do a better G than that. That was kind of janky. Much better. Much better. Yeah, Graphic Audio does a pretty good job of a lot of books. I've listened to a few of their renditions of audiobooks, and they're quite entertaining. Nice. Yeah, the first book I ever listened to like that was I think it was years ago. It was like a fan fiction, but it was professionally made it was like an alien story that takes place between two of the books or two of the movies. And it's just sort of its own self-contained story that doesn't change the either before or after story, but it was fascinating. was my first introduction to the audiobook, audio adventure world. Can't remember what other stories I've listened to by them, but usually if there's a graphic audio version available, I'll lean in that direction. This lower shade is not that great today. Can't think of any other cue words. That might be one of the lightest teased T-crosses I've ever done in my life. It didn't feel like my nib actually touched the paper. That was perfect. Quilt, that's a good one. I'm gonna keep doing cues until I get the descender stroke or the descender shade feeling nicer. A shades are coming out really nice tonight. Better. Oh, too much space after the end. Got overzealous with my exit stroke. Oh, and ugly T-cross as well. Oh, I should have used the other R. Whoops. Yeah, whoops. The left tine. Why is the left tine not making a smooth shape? There. Yeah, this transition on this side, right there, doesn't feel smooth. Why? It does if I do that. If I force that bubble out to the left, I can smooth it out. Maybe that's what I need to do. Every time. Well, that looks like that's the solution I was needing. Let's put it all together. Careful. Ugh. Not a good do-over. Yeah, it'll work. Messed up that part that time. Too much thinking. No time to think. Just do. When I focus on other strokes, now my A strokes are losing their consistency that they had earlier. Whoops. Thinking too much. Nope. Gray shade. It's always the best. The best shades are always gray. Shout out to the Gray Shade Society. Ain't no shade like a gray shade party. Doesn't make any sense, but that's okay. Had to get it out anyways. Not bad. Why won't they just both be smooth at the same time? I don't know, Mike. Maybe it's because you haven't written in 2 months? Maybe that's why. Quite possible. That's a very angled cue. Yeah, we're blaming everything on the rust. I am very happy with that entry stroke on that one, though. I have a bad habit of, and it's something I've been working on a lot, starting specifically that stroke, getting an actual nice taper in. I end up getting a little bit, not like a heavy spot, but heavier than my hairline here, which is not ideal. Weird shape. I need some rusties from Lightning McQueen. That was smoother. Sounds good, man. Have a good night. I don't know how long I'm going to stream for this evening. I got a class tomorrow morning. And it's been a long day. Probably no Blacklight Live this evening. But we'll go for a bit more, I think. I won't cut it off quite yet. Hit like and subscribe. Don't forget to click the bell so you don't miss on any future content. Whenever the day comes that I start posting actual content again. I don't even think my blacklight I don't even think is plugged in and set up and ready to go this evening, unfortunately. It was one of the things that got unplugged when I was gone, and I don't know that all my things are set up and turned on again. Which happens every time I go out of town, and then forget to turn them back on when I come back. Oh, why the crazy snap at the end? Just relax. Skipping work? Shame, shame. Yeah, you never really realize how many things have to get turned on and have to orchestrate until you have to turn them all on again. And it was like when we started the stream, it was still light outside, which is I'm not used to because we're that time of year. It's not quite as bright as if in my home city or my hometown, this time of year it's light till like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night still. And that messes with my lighting. I need to get blackout curtains for stream nights. Yep. Well, my home is up in the wild north. Where I grew up is up in the wild north. It's really not that far north, but we can do better than that. That's better. Canada itself, all of Canada, is the bright north, or is the wild north. Got you. Nah, it's pretty cool this time of year. Like if you have a evening barbecue or something like that, when you can be out in your backyard at like 11 p.m. and it's still bright out, you can still hang out. It's quite enjoyable. Yeah, that'd be great. Scotland is very beautiful. My dad worked up in Yellowknife, way up north for a while, and he used to tell stories of at like 3 o'clock in the morning, all the curtains would be drawn, obviously, because it would still be bright outside, but he'd hear somebody like skateboarding down the street outside, because it was just daytime at 3 o'clock in the morning, certain times of the year, like in the summer, which would mess up your clock, I imagine. Everybody up there must have blackout curtains. Whoa, what's going on there? That's better a little bit, but there we go. That's got the right flow to it. Thank you very much. I need to do some proper dedicated practice to get all the dust, all the rust off. Probably not on stream for those ones. It is a little bit. I just have some I've had some habits, some bad habits for a long time that I need to get rid of. Things just aren't quite as fluid as I want them. I mean, that's the most fluid thing on the page so far. That bee is very nice. I need them all to be like that. But I'm bouncing around too much. I need to do some focus practice, foundation building, or rebuilding. Appreciate that. Well, tomorrow's a whole different swing of things. All business penmanship tomorrow. Whole different world. True. Thank you very much, Yue. I'm excited for tomorrow's class, but we have a lot of stuff to cover in tomorrow's class, as it's the fourth and final session, and so basically we're just rapid fire going through the rest of the alphabet pretty much. There's not a whole lot of strategy in what letters we choose and whatnot. We're just rifling through, switching back and forth between lowercase and capital letters. It's gonna be a flurry, but if we don't get all the way through, that's okay, because it's what we learned in the past 3 lessons. With the handouts, people can get through all the information on their own, but we're gonna try to get through it in class. It's a very short amount of time to get through a lot of information. That's not a regular... That's not a business penmanship L. That's a Spencerian L. Traditional. Oops. Oops. There, rapid fire alphabet. There. The 2Q? Yeah, the 2Q is kind of weird. That's why I usually, if I have to do a Q, I'll do something like this one. Just something like that. Nice and simple. No, it's not that. There's a version that has something like that in it as well that I have liked in the past, but I can't remember how to do it. Oh, scary ad? What was it for? I didn't know there would be scary ads. It's not October. Ah, the ads can be very loud. How's the volume of everything in here? Music-wise, my voice-wise, everything sound okay? Sweet. That's good to know. That's better. Yeah, that would be alarming. What? What? What's going on here? I guess I could turn it up more if we need the volume to be more, I suppose. Maybe I could. If everything is too low as a whole. Ah, that's true. I remember that happening. Oh, maybe that is why it's quiet. I'll have to look at that after the stream is over to see if that setting, because it used to reset itself to not 100%, and I'd have to double check it all, or I'd have to double check it before the stream all the time. I definitely did not do that today. I forgot. I feel like there's little chunks in my ink that are getting stuck on my nib every once in a while, which is not great. Might have to filter it. Maybe. I would like these shades to be bigger. Because even like this S that has a decent size shade, compared to like my A or my V, it's very puny. And I would rather not have to make the A or the V smaller. I can, that's what I normally do to make things match, but I want that compound curve stem stroke to just have a bigger shade. There's no reason it can't. Just take some gotta go back to that stroke. Or just no hairline at all. Great. It's really just the finger just has to, it's attack basically without losing follow through and fluidity. So I need to not slow down when I do that shade, and if I'm doing like a stem stroke like this, it has a little shade, I need to just lay it nice and low. Just need to push without losing that fluidity. Why is my nib not giving me hairlines on the bottom left anymore? Yes, exactly. Put more welly into it. Like that. And then the key is after that feels comfortable. And where I lose it is when I add that upper loop. Keeping a smooth upper loop and a heavy shade are two things that never, it's like oil and water, my writing. They never seem to mix. But that's the key. Basically just doing it, just pressing more, and then making sure things like this don't happen where you get stuck in this bottom corner. So you have nice fluid exit strokes like those 3, 4. Pretty good. And that's just the focused repetitive practice that I do usually off stream, but haven't done in a long time. And need to do. Where are my hairlines going? My hairlines aren't working half the time, which is bizarre. That might be the paper or the nib. Just might be messed up at one angle. I think I'm gonna call it a night there this evening. Things have chilled out a fair bit. My tea is gonna be empty in 2 sips here. I am, let me confirm, so I'm 100% sure. I am in town next week. There's not going out of town again yet. So we will have a late night live next week. And I have nothing, I don't teach next Wednesday. So we'll be able to go a little longer. I will do a theme next week, I'm pretty sure. We'll get back into, now that we're getting back into the swing of things. Tonight was just sort of to brush the dust off and chill and relax and do some writing, and it's been very fun. Yeah, as we go into summer, we will be missing streams here or there, as I'm always sort of in and out for the whole summer, but not a long hiatus like we just went through. My Old English. I'm nervous to do Old English on a stream. I normally do Old English with my desk at a slant. I don't know if I gotta figure out. I can do it flat, I guess. I've never done Old English on a stream before. But next week will either be business penmanship, Old English, or engrosser script. One of the things people have been asking for. But we'll see. I'll make that decision this week as I get my to-do list chipped away at. It's not about lack of confidence. There aren't many scripts that I mean, there's basically Spencerian, or ornamental penmanship, I'll say, is the script that I feel confident in. That no matter if I'm rusty, not rusty, I can just dive in and do a relatively decent job and feel comfortable with it. Every other script, even scripts that I'm decently good at, I can't really do that with all that much. They're not quite as consistent, and they require a fair bit of precision. That doesn't mean I won't do them in future, but they just take some convincing and planning in my head. What's going on, Z? Stuck on TikTok? Oh, were you doom scrolling? Scroll. No worries, it happens. Oh, Z, I gotta show you. As you know, because you have one, there's the die that's always on the desk. Or that's always in my pocket. Except it's not in my pocket right now, it was on my wallet. Oh, you were live! Fun! That's exciting. You were in a live, that's nope. So now there's a second little similar shaped object. I don't know if I've shown this on I feel like I might have shown this on stream before. But that's always in my pocket. And that's this little guy. My little Rubik's Cube. Goes with me everywhere now. So it can decide things if I wanted to. It's just not with numbers. I could just say blue, green, or red mean blah blah blah. But yeah, that's my tiny little Rubik's Cube. Except I can't really use blue, green, or red when it's messed up, because it is solvable. But yeah, those are my two pocket companions now, not just the die. Anyways, as I said, that's about it for me. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me today, everybody. This has been fun. It feels extremely good to be back at my desk and to be back chilling out with everybody. I do apologize for the 2 months out of town. But I'm back now for at least a little bit, and we'll be back to our regular scheduled program. Yes, please do bring it. I got new dice for my birthday. Well, here, I'll go in before I leave. I'll show my new dice that I got. These aren't pocket dice. They're a little too special to be pocket dice. And they're a little bit bigger. Look how cool these are. They're metal and they're heavy, but they're like cool. Look, there's a line for 1, and then 2 lines for 2, and then 3, and 4, 5, and 6. How cool is that? Yeah, super luxe. They're heavy. I don't know how heavy they sound on stream. Yeah, pretty dope. It's a cool set of them. So dope. Anyways, I'll be done with show and tell because I could go on forever because I have a lot of little trinkets and fun things. The brand. I do not know the brand. DicedNDset.com is what the box says. But I'm not sure. Anyways, let's get out of here. Thanks a lot, everybody, again for hanging out with me today. Make sure that you are falling in love with the process, and don't forget that life should be just a bit of silliness, really. Hello, Steve. Or Kathy and accidentally Steve. Nice to see you. Sorry that I'm leaving right now, right as you got here. But yeah, catch you guys later. And stream.